The auditorium buzzed with anticipation as the lights dimmed for the annual Pride Gala in downtown Chicago. But for Aiden and Jordan Hayes, the evening shattered in an instant when a burly usher approached their VIP seats with a smug grin. "Sorry, boys, but these are reserved for Mr. Harlan Voss, the CEO of Voss Industries. Move along," he barked, his tone dripping with disdain as he eyed their matching rainbow pins. Aiden's heart raced, not just from the humiliation but from the fear that this moment would unravel everything he'd fought to build. While Jordan, his identical twin, clenched his fists, wondering if standing up would expose the secret he'd buried deep inside. Aiden felt the sting first, a sharp twist in his gut that made him question every step he'd taken toward living openly as a gay man. Why here, why now? He dragged Jordan to this event, hoping it would be a safe space, a celebration where they could both breathe freely amid the glitter and speeches about equality. But as the usher loomed, insisting they relocate to the back, Aiden's mind flooded with memories of their conservative upbringing in suburban Illinois, where their father had preached family values like a sermon, and any deviation was met with silence or worse. He glanced at Jordan, whose face mirrored his own, sharp jawline, hazel eyes, but hid a storm Aiden could sense brewing. Jordan had always been the quieter one, the one who played straight in high school, dating girls to fit in, while Aiden rebelled, coming out at 17 and facing the fallout alone. Now, at 25, they were both navigating adulthood. Aiden as a graphic designer in the city, proud and unapologetic. Jordan as a software engineer, still closeted, still terrified. "We paid for these seats," Aiden said firmly, his voice steady despite the tremor in his chest. The usher chuckled. "Doesn't matter. Mr. Voss is a big donor." Scram. Jordan's thoughts spiraled as he stood there, the weight of the moment pressing down like an invisible hand. He wanted to scream, to tell the usher to back off, but the words stuck in his throat. What if this escalated? What if someone recognized them, snapped a photo, and it went viral? Twin brothers causing a scene at a Pride event. Their mother, Elena Hayes, a powerhouse in the corporate world, had always warned them about public spectacles. "Image is everything," she'd say, her eyes sharp as she built her empire from nothing. But Jordan's secret gnawed at him. He'd been in love with his best friend, Mark, for years, a feeling he suppressed under layers of denial. Being here with Aiden was supposed to be a step forward, a quiet acknowledgement, but now it felt like a trap. As the usher grabbed Aiden's arm, Jordan's resolve cracked. "Let go of him," he muttered, his voice low but fierce. The usher paused, surprised, but before he could respond, a voice cut through the tension like a knife. Elena Hayes strode up from the aisle, her designer suit impeccable, her expression a mask of controlled fury. She had insisted on attending the gala separately, citing a late meeting, but now here she was, pulling out her business card with a flourish that silenced the usher. "I'm Elena Hayes, CEO of Hayes Global Ventures," she said coolly, handing it over. The usher's eyes widened as he read it. Hayes Global, a rival to Voss Industries, known for outbidding competitors in tech mergers. "These are my sons, and if you touch them again, I'll ensure this entire event hears about Voss's discriminatory practices." Aiden stared at her, shock mingling with relief, while Jordan felt a pang of guilt. Their mother, always the protector, but at what cost? Had she known about his struggles? The usher stammered apologies and backed away, but the damage was done. The incident rippled through the crowd, whispers turning to murmurs. As they settled back into their seats, Aiden leaned over to Jordan. "Mom just saved our asses." But Jordan couldn't shake the unease. This wasn't just about seats. It was about visibility, about being seen in a world that still judged. Elena sat between them, her hand briefly squeezing Jordan's knee, a rare gesture of affection. "No one messes with my boys," she whispered. Yet in her mind, Elena wrestled with her own demons. She'd built her company on ruthlessness, often sidelining her personal life, including her marriage that ended when her husband couldn't handle her success. Raising twins alone, she'd pushed them to excel, but Aiden's coming out had tested her. She supported him publicly, donated to causes, but privately, she worried about Jordan, sensing his internal battle. Was she enabling his silence by not pushing harder? The gala continued, speeches echoing about acceptance. But for the Hayes family, the night had exposed cracks that ran deeper than any VIP row. The evening wore on, filled with performances and networking, but Aiden couldn't focus. His mind replayed the confrontation, amplifying his anger. Why did they have to fight for basic respect even at Pride? He'd chosen this life, embraced it, but seeing Jordan's pale face reminded him of the toll it took on those still in the shadows. Jordan, meanwhile, scrolled through his phone under the table, a text from Mark popping up. "How's the gala? Wish I was there." His heart ached. Mark, straight as far as he knew, but the what-ifs tormented him. Elena noticed Jordan's distraction and leaned in. "Everything okay?" He nodded quickly, but inside, he questioned if he could ever be as brave as Aiden. As the event wrapped up, they headed to the after-party. But the incident lingered like a shadow, setting the stage for revelations none of them anticipated. In the dimly lit lounge of the after-party, Aiden nursed a drink, his earlier adrenaline fading into a dull throb of resentment. "That usher was just the tip of the iceberg," he said to Jordan, who stood beside him, scanning the room nervously. Elena had excused herself to mingle with donors, leaving the twins to navigate the sea of glittering attendees, where alliances were forged and secrets whispered. Jordan felt exposed, the rainbow lights reflecting off faces that seemed to judge him silently. He'd agreed to come tonight partly to support Aiden, but mostly to test his own waters. Could he admit his feelings in a place like this? The confrontation with the usher had stirred something, a mix of defiance and fear. What if Mom hadn't shown up? He thought, his mind racing through scenarios where they'd been ejected, humiliated publicly. It would have confirmed every doubt he had about coming out. The world wasn't ready, and neither was he. Aiden, sensing his brother's turmoil, clapped him on the back. "Hey, we're here now. Let's make the most of it." But Jordan's eyes landed on a group across the room. Harlan Voss himself, laughing with associates, oblivious to the storm he'd indirectly caused. Elena, weaving through the crowd, spotted Voss and felt a surge of protective rage. She'd clawed her way to the top in a male-dominated industry, facing sexism and skepticism, only to see her sons treated like second-class citizens. Approaching Voss with calculated poise, she extended her hand. "Harlan, good to see you. I hear there was a mix-up with seating." Voss, a tall man with a slick smile, raised an eyebrow.
"Elena Hayes?
"Didn't expect you here. Supporting the cause, are we?" His tone was patronizing, implying her presence was performative. Inside, Elena seethed. She'd donated millions anonymously, but Voss's company was known for lip-service diversity while lobbying against LGBTQ+ rights in certain states. "My sons are gay," she said bluntly, watching his reaction, "and they deserve better than being displaced for your ego." Voss chuckled. "Boys? Twins, right?
Goo.
But business is business." Back with Jordan, Aiden introduced him to a friend, Liam, an activist with a warm smile. "Jordan's my quieter half," Aiden joked, but Jordan felt a spark when Liam shook his hand, a connection that terrified him. "What do you do?" Liam asked. Jordan mumbled about software, his thoughts elsewhere. Why couldn't he just be honest? The internal conflict gnawed. Admitting his orientation meant risking his job, his friends, maybe even Mark's friendship. As the conversation flowed, Aiden excused himself, leaving Jordan alone with Liam. "You seem tense," Liam observed. Jordan hesitated. "Just family stuff." But in his head he screamed, "Tell him." Instead, he changed the subject, the missed opportunity adding to his self-loathing. Elena wrapped up her exchange with Voss, her words laced with veiled threats about future mergers. "Don't underestimate me, Harlan, or my family." Walking away, she reflected on her own sacrifices, divorcing their father when he became controlling, prioritizing her career over romance. Had she modeled strength or isolation for her sons? Spotting Aiden chatting animatedly, she smiled, but Jordan's withdrawn posture worried her. She pulled him aside. "Talk to me, Jordy." He shrugged. "I'm fine, Mom." But he wasn't. The night had amplified his isolation, making him question if hiding was worth the pain. As the party wound down, a heated debate erupted nearby, activists arguing about corporate involvement in Pride. Aiden jumped in, defending authentic support, while Jordan listened, his mind churning. What if he spoke up? The thought thrilled and petrified him. Elena watched, proud of Aiden but aching for Jordan. Driving home later, silence filled the car until Aiden broke it. That was intense. Jordan nodded, but inside, a decision simmered. He needed to confront his truth, whatever the cost. Little did he know, the real storm was just beginning, as Voss's retaliation loomed on the horizon. The next morning, sunlight filtered through the blinds of their shared apartment, but Jordan woke with a heaviness that no coffee could lift. The gala's events replayed in his dreams. The usher's grip, Voss's smirk, Liam's kind eyes, each a reminder of his cowardice. Why hadn't he stood taller? Aiden, already up and scrolling news on his phone, greeted him with a grin. Check this out, someone posted about the seating drama. We're viral heroes. Jordan's stomach dropped as he grabbed the phone. A tweet thread detailed the incident, praising Elena's intervention as a boss move against corporate bigotry. Comments flooded in. Support, outrage, even calls for boycotting Voss Industries. But amid the positivity, trolls emerged, homophobic slurs aimed at the twin fags, questioning their legitimacy at Pride. Jordan's hands trembled. This exposure was his nightmare. This is bad, Aiden. What if work sees this? Aiden waved it off. Screw them. We're out and proud. But Jordan wasn't out, not fully, and the internal war raged. Part of him envied Aiden's freedom. Another part resented him for dragging them into the spotlight. Elena called shortly after, her voice tense. Have you seen the news? Voss is spinning it, claiming we staged it for publicity. She paused, her mind flashing to boardroom battles where she'd outmaneuvered men like him. But this felt personal, her sons were targets now. I'm handling it, she assured them, but doubt crept in. Had her bold move backfired? In her office later, she stared at merger documents. Hayes Global was eyeing a deal that could crush Voss, but accelerating it meant ethical shortcuts like leaking insider info. The moral dilemma tore at her. Protect her family or uphold her principles. At work, Jordan faced his own crisis. His boss, a conservative type, pulled him aside. Heard about your family's little stunt. Keep that stuff out of the office. The words hit like a punch, amplifying Jordan's fears. He thought of Mark, who texted, "Saw the video. You okay?" Jordan's reply was curt, but inside, he yearned to confess his feelings, to say, "I love you, but I'm scared." Instead, he buried it deeper, the suppression fueling a growing anger toward himself and the world. Aiden, meanwhile, embraced the attention, posting on social media about resilience. But privately, he worried about Jordan's silence. You could have said more last night, he thought, recalling their childhood. Aiden taking the heat for both while Jordan hid. A lunch meetup with Liam turned flirty, but Aiden's mind wandered to his twin. Was he pushing too hard? That evening, tension boiled over at dinner with Elena. Voss is suing for defamation, she revealed, her facade cracking. Jordan exploded. This is because of you, always charging in. Elena recoiled, hurt flashing in her eyes. I was protecting you. Aiden mediated, but Jordan stormed out, his thoughts a whirlwind. Was hiding safer, or was it killing him? Wandering the streets, he called Mark, voice breaking. I need to talk. Mark met him at a park, concern etched on his face. As Jordan confessed his orientation, tears flowing, Mark hugged him. I know, man, and I feel the same. The revelation stunned Jordan. Mutual feelings? But joy mixed with terror. What now? Elena, alone with Aiden, confessed her regrets. I pushed you both too hard. Aiden comforted her, but his own doubts surfaced. Had his openness burdened Jordan? The family fractures deepened, each member paying a price for unspoken truths. Jordan's world tilted on its axis as Mark's admission hung in the air, the park bench beneath them suddenly feeling like the edge of a cliff. "You." "What?" Jordan whispered, his heart pounding with a mix of elation and dread. Mark nodded, his eyes vulnerable. "I've loved you for years, but I thought you were straight." The confession unlocked something in Jordan. A flood of suppressed emotions, regrets for lost time, fury at society's chains. But as they shared a tentative embrace, reality crashed in. Mark was engaged to a woman, a fact Jordan had ignored in his fantasies. Back home, Jordan paced, his mind a battlefield. Coming out to Mark was one thing, but to the world, the viral incident had already painted a target on them. He imagined the backlash. Disapproving colleagues, estranged friends, their father's ghost judging from afar. "Is this worth the pain?" he agonized, weighing the joy against the inevitable hurt. Aiden noticed his turmoil upon returning. "Where were you?" Jordan hesitated, then spilled. "Mark, he feels the same." Aiden's face lit with joy, but Jordan's fear tempered it. What if it destroys everything? Elena, dealing with the lawsuit, buried herself in work, but guilt consumed her. She'd always prioritized power, thinking it shielded her family, but now it seemed to endanger them. A call from her lawyer confirmed Voss's aggression, demanding a public apology. "Over my dead body," she thought, but the ethical tightrope tightened. To fight back, she'd need to expose Voss's shady dealings, a move that could tarnish her own reputation. The moral quandary ate at her. Sacrifice integrity for family, or let them suffer? At a family meeting, emotions erupted. Jordan revealed his relationship with Mark, eliciting Elena's shock. "He's engaged," she exclaimed, her protective instincts flaring. Aiden defended, "Love isn't perfect," but Jordan felt betrayed by her judgment, storming, "You don't get it. You've been alone forever because of your choices." Elena's eyes welled. His words struck deep, forcing her to confront her isolation. Had her ambition cost her connections? Mark's fiancée, Sarah, discovered the truth via the viral buzz, confronting him in tears. "Is this why you've been distant?" Mark, torn, ended the engagement, the decision ripping him apart. Jordan, learning this, felt responsible. His awakening had caused pain. "Am I selfish?" he tormented himself, the internal conflict peaking as he questioned every step. Voss escalated, leaking false stories about Elena's unethical practices, forcing her to counter with evidence of his discrimination. The boardroom became a war zone, Elena's resolve hardening but her soul fracturing. "For my sons," she repeated, but the toll mounted. Sleepless nights, strained alliances. Aiden, supporting Jordan, faced his own reckoning. A job offer from a progressive firm, but it meant relocating. "Do I leave them?" he pondered, the choice symbolizing his independence versus family loyalty. As betrayals mounted, friends distancing, media hounding, the family clung together, each paying dearly for authenticity. The courtroom loomed like a judgment hall, but the real trial played out in Elena's heart as she faced Voss across the aisle, her sons flanking her. The lawsuit had ballooned into a media circus, headlines screaming, "Corporate feud over gay twins' pride snub." Jordan sat rigid, Mark's hand discreetly brushing his under the table, a small comfort amid the chaos. Since confessing, their relationship had blossomed in stolen moments, but publicly, it invited scrutiny that gnawed at Jordan's soul. "Why can't we just be?" he thought, replaying Sarah's heartbroken accusations, the friends who'd ghosted him. The price of love felt exorbitant, yet denying it now seemed impossible. Elena's testimony was a masterclass in poise, detailing Voss's bigotry with irrefutable evidence, emails, witness accounts. But inside, she crumbled. Exposing him meant admitting her own cutthroat tactics. "I've become what I hate," she reflected, regretting the mergers won through manipulation. The judge's gavel would decide the case, but Elena's victory tasted bitter. Her company's stock dipped, allies wavered. Had protecting her family eroded her ethics? Aiden, testifying about the incident, spoke eloquently of discrimination's sting, but his words masked doubt. Relocating for the new job meant abandoning Jordan at his most vulnerable. "Am I running away?" he questioned, the internal tug-of-war intensifying. Jordan's eyes met his, a silent please stay. But Aiden's decision loomed, a sacrifice either way. Post-trial, as they won a settlement, Voss forced to donate to LGBTQ+ causes. Celebration felt hollow. Jordan confronted Elena. "Your card flip started this, but it woke me up." Tears flowed as she hugged him. "I'd do it again, but I'm sorry for the pain." Mark joined, his own losses evident. Family estrangement, career setbacks. "We pay for who we are," he said softly. In quiet reflection, Jordan pondered the journey. From hidden desires to open wounds, betrayals birthing growth. Aiden chose to stay, prioritizing brotherhood. Elena stepped back from aggressive deals, seeking balance. Yet scars remained, a testament to their battles. Was it right to ignite such chaos for personal truth? Or should some secrets stay buried to spare the innocent?